Then after you bring up Xcode, go ahead and click create a new Xcode project. Choose single view app and click next. And I'll go ahead and give it a name, test it, and click next. And then click create. And I already have it, so I'll replace it.
Where's yours? I guess it just does not take cards.
And then this brings up our standard window here. And then if you click main storyboard, gives us this. Now, view controller.swift. If I click that, then this comes up with our default class view controller.
I need a charger.
You need a charger? Okay. Then I want a table there? Oh, right. I quit putting them away because people were just plugging them so much. Now, okay, so we got our view controller Swift, and I got our main storyboard. The view controller kind of controls everything. It controls what you see and so forth. If I drop on some text fields here,
Keep popping up this get to know your Mac and Microsoft updates available.
hit cancel on both those. I started getting kind of panicked, so I had to do some software updates last Friday or so forth.
Well, someone to
Because
I
not
can tell. It's kind of a different.
look,
Yeah, mine's different than what yours is.
yeah.
They also put in the 2 new iPhones for Xcode.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's 3 gigs.
Well, see, they announced that they were coming out with that update to the operating system.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they do that, they come out with the newest version of Xcode. And in order to use that newest version of Xcode, you have to have the new operating system. And sometimes to have the new operating system, you have to have the newest hardware. And I thought I need to get Xcode on all these machines before they come up obsolete, even though we just got them. And
It's not turning on still. Yeah. Did you see? Open it.
If that were to happen, what would you do?
If I lied in the picture, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably locate the old version of the Xcode. Wouldn't be available via the App Store.
Yeah, you'd have to download some third-party deal.
Yeah, so it'd be a nightmare. It's
Yeah.
just easier to have it off of the store.
I've had to do some similar things with my older MacBook because nothing was supported.
Yeah.
So
They got quite a racket. I need to, at some point, create a kind of a backup of all those files, so that for some reason I need to reload a MacBook, then I can access it. That's the worst part about the MacBooks here is 2 years from now, the new XX code won't run on them, I bet.
right, because they'll claim it's a hardware limitation, but people have gotten the oldest MacBooks that there are to run High Sierra.
Yeah.
So It's just Apple trying to get you to buy the new product.
Oh yeah.
So grab a couple text fields.
Drop on a couple of text fields. And you can drop on a button too.
Whoever's turned down the sensitivity of the mouse is not bad.
No, seriously. I'm sorry, guys. I just couldn't resist.
See, you say that every time, so it must not be him. Must reset it. Or you're getting different MacBooks each time. So otherwise, just one of you would say it each time.
I always.
Yeah. You guys are the only ones using the MacBooks, so has to be the three of you.
JC.
There we go. Tracking speed. Go faster. There we go.
Okay, so our view controller is controlling everything. And there's some items up here which we'll take a look at later on. But you click the main screen here. And over here on the side you have some options. And you see the background color. So if you do the little drop down next to it, you can choose different items. You choose current color, gives you that. Default. If you simply double click it, it pops up with a little color window over here. And I wonder how you choose the color though.
Yeah, mine's just custom. There we go. That is really hard to read.
There it goes. I had to click it again in order for it to appear. But that's how you can change the color of your background. I had trouble with that earlier too. I have to remember that sequence. If you click your button has a text color to it also. It also has a background. You can do a background image, shadow color. If I do the background, we don't have any images yet, but I'm going to show you how to drop on images here shortly. For text color, again, if you double click that, you can come over here and
What do they call it? The tint. It's what the button color was.
I'm having getting in trouble change again.
I hate this new update.
You
Yeah,
don't
I
like that?
hate that every time you want to click for a new deal.
Who turned on the natural scroll?
Yeah, I have Australian scrolling.
See if this is you. I swear that was
Alright, time to change more settings. Dude, what all classes use this?
You.
Just
not.
us?
Just us. Out of all your classes.
See if I just change that. There it goes. Okay. I still don't know what sequence is on that. I think because I'm clicking it twice. I'm so used to Windows. So click that. Okay, yeah. So click it twice and you'll be fine. Okay, so we got some nice colors here. Real pleasing to the eye.
I have some dark colors that you can't squint.
Okay, so view controller controls all that. You can see that over here on the side. It says view controller, and underneath that is the view. Safe area, the round style, text field, choose all those. See the other options you can do to it. Okay. Now, over here on the right hand side, if you don't see your right panel, go ahead and click your right panel button, show the utilities. If you go up here at the top, you see where it says View Controller, a controller that manages a view. So if we want a new view, a new screen on there, you take that view controller, drag it, and drop it over here on the side. After you get it dropped over there, you can then move it so they're further apart. This is like creating two separate screens.
So you click on view and then what?
You click the view controller, drag it, and drop it over here in a white space. We're going to be exploring a lot more views in the coming classes. Now you notice over here, we got the view controller scene up here, and we got the view controller scene down here. If you click each one of those individually, it'll go to the appropriate screen. You can also scroll down here at the bottom, and then choose which one you're working with. Not that you'd ever have anything that complex, but if you had something with 50 views, then this over here on the side might be easier than needing to scroll and clicking it.
Yeah.
Because again, when you click this, it
Jumps over.
to it. Okay, so I'm going to change this so it looks different, so we can tell the difference between them. So I'm going to drop a, see the background here, and that yellow, nice pretty yellow. I should be a designer. I'll drop a text field on there, not that I'm going to do anything with the text field, but, and I'll drop a button on there.
On the second view control.
Right. And that button, I'll click twice, and I'll change it to say back to main screen.
Where's the other?
Did we get their two views created? Two screens? Okay. Yeah, I think you're going to like this. It's easier than Android Studio. Not that Android Studio is hard. But when they click this button, what we want to do is we want to go over to the other view. So I'm going to click the button here one time. I hold down my control. And I'm going to click and drag and then release it on the other screen. And we're going to choose the last one, modal deprecated. We're going to talk about these other items eventually. You should see an arrow going from the one view to the other view.
To do what? Control drag first button over to the second view control.
Now we want to, for the other way, I want to click this button, hold down my control and drag it until I am in the middle of the screen here. Don't put it on like any text field or anything. And then let up, and then choose modal deprecated again. And you'll see another line going over like that, so you can see it.
Don't speak.
Now if I run this,
This is the, whoa. I got a lot of issues here.
you got a lot of issues. Okay, let me show this now. Come look at it.
Oh, but then it actually loaded it, but still gave me the issues. Okay. And it works. I don't
works.
understand. This is the only look I'm ever going to get in that iPhone XR because I'm not going to be able to afford one.
Oh, you chose the new emulator?
Well, it just
Did it by default?
Yeah.
Oh. So if you click the button here, you should see it switch to the other screen. And then if you do a back, it should go then back like that. I don't have an iPhone. How do you normally go back without that functionality?
They usually have a little arrow at the top left of the screen. You just click and go back.
Oh, so it doesn't default like Android down here? Oh.
You can go to your home, obviously. Oh, that's weird. The home functionality for the XR is pulling up from the bottom.
I'm going to click it before I screw up my emulator. I want to get an iPhone, but it's kind of expensive.
I'd go with the 6 or 7 plus. Or the 8 plus is really nice.
6, I think, is what I'm going to get. They got pay-as-you-go type plans at Best Buy. And the phone, I think, is $300. So
Yeah.
that's within my price range. I can afford that.
I have the 7 plus. I like it.
Oh, do you?
The plus is the bigger one. That's really nice.
I wouldn't mind that, but the one with the pay-as-you-go plan,
It's
just
regular
6.
6.
Yeah. Ever get their interaction to work?
Yeah.
Now, if you click these lines in between, it'll talk about this modal segue to view controller and so forth.
They don't really give me too much room.
If you press delete, it deletes it. So like when I click this here, if I press delete, it'll delete it.
Do you want us to delete it?
It's up to you. We're just playing. Then to reattach it, you do the same thing. Hit your control, drag and drop it onto that. Click this one. Oops, what did I do wrong? Control, drag and drop there. Oh, modal deprecated. Click here, do a control, drag and drop that. Choose modal deprecated. If I stop that and run it now. Then you'll see we has the same functionality.
Why did you say it like that?
Now let me delete those again. And I'm going to hold on my control, move this over here, click there. And let me say show instead. Then I'll click this down, do my control, move it back, do show. And then run it. You notice it works the same way? Now, delete that, delete this. When I click this button and I hold down my control and move it over here, I first had you choose this because I wanted to talk about it. What's deprecated mean?
Give me 5 seconds and I'll Google it. The word that comes to mind is deprived, but I don't think that's.
What it means is that it's no longer the tool of choice. It's old.
Huh.
We're still supporting it, but don't use it.
That's when I'm getting a lot of error things. It says model SEGUES, like suits, are not
Segway?
deprecated. Yeah,
Or what?
they're deprecated since iOS 8, which is a long one.
Oh, so that's why when you choose that new one.
Whenever you
Yeah.
choose, it says it's been deprecated since iOS 8, which we're on 12.
See, and that's what you have to consider when you're designing and you choose something that says deprecated. At some point, they will quit supporting that on like a new iPhone, and it won't work. So when you've got an app and you're sitting there revising it when a new iPhone comes out, you look for things like that. And if you see it deprecated, then you try to upgrade it to the newest. Now, we're going to eventually see a difference between show and present modality. I'm probably saying that wrong. And pop over and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to close that. So I'll go ahead and close the project. Now I'm going to do a new project. Got our single view app. And I'll call it test it again. Now I got one of those, so it'll ask me to replace it. So I'll click replace. Go to my main storyboard. And we got our screen here. And let's say we want to put an image on here. Well, I need to go get an image first. Hopefully you can do this.
Main storyboard. And then Safari.
I went into Safari, I went into google.com, and I searched for register to vote images. Can you do that on yours?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured out how to configure the MacBooks for the network. I just haven't got around to doing all the computers yet.
Do we save image?
Yeah, like I'm going to right click this, and I'm going to say save image to downloads.
Yeah. Okay.
Now notice we have the assets here. So for this assets, if I bring up my download, I can open it in Finder. And then if I take my images.jpg and I drag that over to here, assuming I can get my window right. Okay, there. If I drag it and drop it over here in the no selection under the assets, then I'll drop my image on there. Everybody having images?
Yeah. I have two.
Two? Okay. So now if I go back to my main storyboard, and I want to choose somewhere there's an image view. There it is. So image view displays a single image or an animation described by array of images. So if I click that and drag it on here, you got your user interface image viewer. Now if you have that selected, then over here you'll have an image. And if you do the drop down, you can choose images. Brings that in. I'm guessing this will probably work better than Android Studio. I think Xcode, for the most part, just less bugs.
Yes, sir.
Mine's this.
Mine's just my favorite.
Yeah, that's way better than Android Studio.
You like that better than Android Studio?
Way easier. See, that's why it's good. Yeah.
No, it's time consuming work.
Now, if I drop the button on there, I noticed on the button it had an images option. I don't think I've tried to change this. Ooh, if I go here and change my images, I figured it'd work that way. Now, these both are registered to vote images, right?
Yes.
What's the difference between them?
One of them lets you register to vote, and the other one is off-center, but registered to vote.
Sort of. This is just an image. It just says register to vote. This one is a button,
Very good.
which means I could program this.
Elbow.
So let's program this this button. I'm gonna drop on a text field on here.
Hey, that was a button.
That's a button.
Why?
That's literally his mind. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, our buttons get a little bit more exciting now. Instead of those boring, just click here or calculate or so forth, you could put images on them. I don't know if you can do a mixture of text and images.
Something's wrong.
Okay. Button. You're gonna drop down the button now.
And then once you bring the button on there, you'll have an image option for it.
I see.
Oh, maybe if you make it a background image and then have text.
I'd rather have this be the button.
So if you get rid of that,
So you click on
Oh, there it is.
the button, and then you click on image, and then you click on whatever next button. That's it. Do you want a couple text fields?
what in the world did I just do?
What?
Oh, it just automatically made it bigger.
What?
Yeah, a couple text fields. And see here, if you instead of making it an image, you make it a background image, then you can have that, and you can have your text up in front. Now mine's white, so you can't see it very well. Text color, if I change that to black, still can't see it.
It's like lime green.
Oh, that's horrible. Font.
Not again.
There should be some way to put it up at the top, but I'm not seeing it.
With
State selected. Oh well, I'll quit playing on that. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of the background image. So I like the better the other way. And
How
for
did you
the,
bring it forward? I can't get it to show in front of my text.
you have to set your background images, and then
Oh, that's
blank out.
weird.
Yeah.
I'm just coming over here.
Okay, so I'll put it back to. That's interesting.
I'll just leave it.
There it is to the side. So what did that do different to make it go to the side? This is just.
Oh yeah, Mr. Crane.
Oh, when I made it small like that, it was to the side anyway. I just couldn't see it. Okay, never mind. So we're going to program this. So now I want to bring up my code. So you click your two circles. I'm going to shut off my panels.
Not the panels.
And remember, we come up here and hold down our control.
Or with the mouse, you can hold down the
Mouse wheel.
Oh.
All right. I'm not that clever. Hold down the right and move the left. TF underscore num1. I click this, hold down my control, drag it. TF num2. Then my button, I'm going to hold down my control and drag and drop it here.
Button underscore click.
Button underscore click.
It's already labeled as an action.
Yours is?
Yeah,
Really?
that's nice.
Mine says
Finally,
outlet.
They did something with an update that I actually wanted.
That's the one that I use.
And then I want a user interface button. Click connect. I may eventually update all of them just so they all look the same.
Yeah. Yeah, JC doesn't have the update.
But it's nice when they have it.
Yeah. I have this version on my emulator.
So we're going to have a declare a variable. We'll call it the text.
That was big.
And I'm trying to equals
Alright, I'll remember that. When you're having a hard
TF num1 dot text. There we go. I think I have to do the exclamation on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to get that down when to use that. Still says initialization issue because the
It says undeclared.
Yeah, use of undeclared type, TF underscore num1.
did you put that up here?
Yes.
Really?
Really?
Uh,
Yeah, underscore.
oh, you have a colon, which should be equals.
Send it. Yeah.
JC already told you. I didn't eat all of my Subway sandwiches. So I could try some.
Okay, so now I'm going to check to see if the text is equal to
Just stop working.
blank. Then I'm going to say tf underscore num2 dot text is equal to it is blank. Else tf underscore num2 dot text equals tf underscore num1 dot text.
I feel like I'm way too there.
You actually, I don't think you need those curly brackets there for one line of code, but I always like to put them there just for good programming practice.
What is wrong?
What is wrong?
I'm gonna run this to see if it works.
Ooh, really?
Okay, so I got my main image here. I got my text field here. I'll leave it blank, and I'll click this, and it comes back and says it is blank.
No, I don't want the
If I put 3 there and click 3, then it'll put 3 there.
Dude, you got two moves like that.
Got Sigabert?
Yep. You can move my wrist.
Now, where this is leading to is we're going to be incorporating more and more error checking. So that's what we'll be doing next class is doing the different error checking. One of the things is if you're trying to add two numbers together, they need to input numbers. So this is checking for a blank text field. Now I'll go ahead and give you the project to work on.
Yeah.
The project to work on is the same as the last class. You're going to have 4 views. The one view will have buttons that you'll click that'll take you to those other 3 views that should have images on them.
Oh.
Now, instead of having boring buttons, they should be exciting buttons like this with images.
There's even this I want you to make that one for me.
Alright, gotcha.
Anyways, sorry.
So I'll go ahead and stop the recording.